Hey guys, back again, and I'm here to talk about Mad Max Fury Road. This is a movie that was in development for 18 years, so nearly 20 years. I think they started making it in the 90s, and it had a really troubled development. This is like textbook case of what they call development hell, though this is the Hollywood version rather than the video game version. But it was a long time in the pipeline. I think the movie was started in the late 90s when they were still considering Mel Gibson for the title role of Max, given that he played Max already 3 times. But when I was younger, I was at school, and one night Mad Max 2 was on. I was flicking through the channels, and I was still very young, still a schoolboy, and it happened to be on, and I thought, why not? I'll give it a go. So I'll try watching Max, and I wasn't entirely paying attention to the movie, and I did get to the end. I think I did start maybe a third or halfway into the movie, but I watched it, and it was just a really strange experience. I just thought it didn't make sense to me. I thought, why is everyone dressed like this? Why does everyone have weird names, Lord Humongous? And why do the cars look so strange? And why doesn't it just look like a regular world? And it didn't make sense to me. At that age, I was just too young to understand what was going on. And I got to the end of the movie, and very quickly kind of forgot about it and thought, well, Mad Max is just, it's not for me. I don't know what it is. It's just this old film, which is not interesting to me. And it may have just been that I was just too young to appreciate the movie. There's at least one other movie I know of that I saw as a child, which I didn't appreciate, and then I watched when I was a little bit older, and turns out I really loved that movie. And that movie is Heat, and I'll probably end up making a video on Heat one day. But Mad Max didn't really interest me. So when in sort of 2014 I heard they were coming out with another Mad Max movie, I didn't really care. I just thought, oh, that's just a thing that's happening. It doesn't really matter to me. And then the movie came out in 2015, and I tend to go on Wikipedia and read up on the movies and just to get an idea of who's involved with them, what the budget is, things like that. And I read the reviews, and the reviews are pretty good. I think they were 90-something% if you pay attention to those sorts of scores, but I usually check on Wikipedia, which is usually Rotten Tomatoes, and I made a note that it's Mad Max, looks like it's got decent reviews, and didn't really have any intention of going to see it, and then I was visiting family, and we decided to go see a movie, and Mad Max happened to be out, and we were a bunch of blokes, so we thought, well, it's kind of an obvious choice. It's a big action movie, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. The reviews are half decent anyway. Well, we'll see how it is. And it was one of those times where we were sat just a little bit too close, I think, to the front of the screen. We were like third row from the front. This is an irregular cinema, and the volume was turned right up loud, and I just remember the opening of the movie, like immediately they kind of give you a little snippet about, how the world came to be the way that it was. And I think that Fury Road was the first movie where they said it was actually nuclear weapons, which kind of makes sense. And so just the opening scene is really great. I mean, the opening line is, "My name is Max, my world is fire and blood." And you see a little two-headed lizard, and then it kind of scurries along, and then Max steps on it, and my brain immediately said, is he going to eat that thing? And then sure enough, he turns around, and he's slurping this gecko two-headed lizard into his mouth. And if you don't know Mad Max, that's a perfect introduction to the world of Mad Max. They've told you sort of what happened, what kind of world it is. Even some of the dialogue is just great. I am the one who runs from both the living and the dead. I loved that. And of course, you immediately get a little action scene where Max is being chased by the war boys, and then his car is flipped over. But um, one thing about the movie, before you go in, like, this is a 2 hour action film. And I really mean it's a 2 hour action film. In some ways, the movie kind of reminds me a little bit about Doom, the newer Doom games, Doom in 2016 and Doom Eternal, which I didn't play until, well after I'd seen Mad Max. But I feel like what Doom does is it jacks up your nervous system, so it throws a bunch of stuff at you. It throws a bunch of demons at you and jacks up the music, and the music kind of works with the game as well, depending on how much action is going on at that time. But every few minutes you need a break, so your nervous system needs to calm down a bit and take some time out to take that break. And I felt the same with Mad Max Fury Road. After like there's already like 3 action scenes. There was there's the opening one where Max is trying to get away from the war boys. There's the spiky cars attacking the war rig. There's the scene with the storm, when you see, because I should mention I saw Mad Max Fury Road again recently in IMAX in 3D, which I'm glad I got to do. I'm glad there was a re-release, and if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it now while it's been re-released and you get the chance to see it in 3D and IMAX on a big screen. Anyway, the scene with the storm where some of the war boys' vehicles are getting caught up in the storm and they're just kind of being pulled apart and then they're blowing up is just like amazing to watch. Just absolutely amazing to watch. There's a lot going on, and then there's a fight scene. And anyway, after all of this, this is like high octane action, like pummeling my nervous system. And I felt like there was like a few minutes of, it was probably longer than that, of rest, where there was just not much going on. There's a bit of dialogue, there's a bit of character development, and the characters getting to know each other. And of course, at the same time we're getting to know them. And then there's a moment where the music starts up again. So this is the bit where Furiosa has delivered the fuel, and the guys on the motorbikes say, we had a deal and we were expecting a few cars in pursuit, and I count 3 war parties, so these huge fleets of vehicles which are pursuing Furiosa and the war rig, and of course the Ys. But I remember that moment when I felt like I was still recovering from the last few action scenes, and then the music starts up again, and I was like, oh, are we going again now? We're coming again for another action scene. And sure enough, it was another action scene. The chase starts up again, and this is one of the best action scenes in the movie, and it's at least in my opinion, it's got the best track from the soundtrack by Tom Holkenborg, aka Junkie XL, which is called Brother in Arms. But if you're a big soundtrack guy like me, then go check out Brother in Arms from the Mad Max Fury Road soundtrack. But I mean, the movie was just really good, and it's one of those moments where I wasn't expecting to really like something that came in with low expectations just because of what I'd seen from Mad Max 2. And I probably need to go back and see Mad Max 2 again. I think I might be able to appreciate it a bit more now that I'm older. But if you like action movies, this is 2 hours of pure action. There's very little dialogue. The soundtrack's fantastic. The visuals are great. Big, wide, large orange vistas during the day. And seeing the fleet of Mad Max vehicles is really cool. At night, you get this kind of nice different shades of blue, which is kind of changes up the color palette a bit. Almost like a sort of a palette cleanser from the most of the movie being this orange with the flames, the yellow flames, and the rest of it. And so, like, I could talk a lot longer on this movie. I'm currently listening to the book Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, which is about the 18-year making of Mad Max Fury Road. And I did see it recently, and it was kind of a weird version that was censored a bit. They took out a few things, which was a bit odd, and so I'll maybe talk about that. But you'll almost certainly be hearing back from me on Mad Max Fury Road. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think last time I saw it was the fourth time that I'd seen it, so I'll be looking forward to seeing it again. Having said that, if you do like Mad Max Fury Road and you want to see some more content on that, then feel free to drop a comment and let me know, and I'm happy to make many more movies on that. Beyond that, have a good day, and I will see you guys next time.